good morning, good afternoon. Sorry. This music signifies the beginning of the show. Welcome to the Pinball Party Irish podcast. This is your host trying to improve his Irish accent. And you know what? We do not need music. Let's talk about remasters. Metallica just being remastered. This is more in the spirit of that. What I would like to talk about, which is, let's say that other games get remastered. What will they change? What could they improve? What would we like to see? What would we not like to see? And all that. 2025 is upon us. The Metallica Remastered sold gangbusters. While we all patiently wait for more Dungeons & Dragons in the home, how does it do? What a lot of people are really waiting for, including myself, is how does Keith Elwin's King Kong do? Hello. How does JJP's Harry Potter do? Those are the two biggest things that will move the needle in the pinball world currently. Third will be remasters. Again, because Metallica sold so well, somewhat of a surprise from what I hear. They being Stern, the largest pinball manufacturer out there, are, of course, thinking what's next to make the consumers happy by bringing something old, making it new again, and making our wallets happy because it's a business. To set the stage with Metallica, what did they do? They took a game that was already anecdotally popular and I'm sure numerically popular, even though Stern does not release their numbers publicly. Someone who, like myself or yourself, who peruses the secondary market or just talks to pinball people, know that Metallica was often touted as one of the best ever. And it took up this space that was kind of, I don't want to say not extraordinary, because to a lot of people it was, but not many people ever said, oh, that game's horrible. Because of this, I will never play that. The most negative thing that would come from Metallica was that it was like chopping wood. Probably initially coined by your favorite reviewers straight down the middle, Greg Boner and Zacharias. There's many Zachs or whatever his name is.
When I buy my pinball shit.
Hey man, what the fuck you doing?
What? Playing the theme song.
Yeah, but I don't remember giving a cue.
I don't remember caring.
Oh, I don't remember caring.
Suck my metal pole.
Why? I mean, just overall.
Buy from Flippin'
Ah, you
Out.
fucking bitch.
From top
Jeez,
of
man. Wait for the cue.
Yeah.
Not the cue.
Eat shit.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and have your own self a big plate of shit and have that for dinner?
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going to kill myself. All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's the cue.
Yeah. When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flippin' Out. From Topper's Art Blade Premiums. I've got it figured out. Flippin' Out. Yeah. Figured out. Oh, yeah. When I think of pinball, I think Flippin' Out. Oh, yeah. Flippin' Out. Yeah. Figured out. Oh, yeah. When I buy, I buy from Flippin' Out. Oh, yeah.
Flippin' Out does not condone killing yourself, but they do condone buying pinball machines from them for great customer service. Their 666 employees are waiting. Wait, 660? Is that right? Yeah, 666 employees. Well, the number of the beast, 666 employees at Flippin' Out Pinball, ready to serve your. It says no religious affiliation. No religious affiliation. Flippin' Out Pinball. Go buy your pinball stuff. So chopping wood on Metallica. You have to do one thing over and over that is somewhat monotonous to progress through the game, where a lot of games are mode-based. What's mode-based? It's kind of in the eye of the beholder, but as soon as you accomplish 1, 2, 3, or X, Y, Z things, you are now into a subset of the rules of the game. Now you have to shoot the blue shots. As soon as the blue shots are done, you get 10,000 points. Or shoot the red shots. If you're thinking of Star Trek, it's mode-based. So Metallica was, well, there's not modes per se, aside from crank it up. It was really hit these things a bunch of times, and then you'll see a multi-ball. Hit that other thing a bunch of times, and you'll see a multi-ball. And then maybe you can get to crank it up. I don't want to get into the rules of Metallica, but the point is the most negative part of that game was just generally, maybe the code isn't my cup of tea, in so many words. But when it comes down to how was the layout, it was great and it was safe, fan layout. It had enough innovation between the snake and the inline drop targets. Innovation, I use that in quotes. Sparky. It had a lot of great mechs. It had great shots. It was easy to understand. You know, it's a double-edged sword with that chopping wood for people that, hey, this is what you do. Oh, that's it? Not as like a negative way, like, oh, I can understand that. Because a lot of new people from outside of the world of pinball coming in, their biggest hurdle, aside from the price of these games, obviously, is like, what is pinball flailing around? Well, Metallica really lowered that barrier to entry of, hey, hit the snake 10 times, hit Sparky 10 times, hit those cross shots, and then this thing will happen. They're done. I just explained the game. Wow, okay, that's easy to understand. It's easy for someone to see. Yeah, so it was a low barrier to entry game. A lot of people, it sat in their at least average to above average opinion of pinball machines. Beyond that, the art was also always, not also always, but frequently, hey, it's great. I like it. Worst case, it doesn't bother me. So the art's great. The game is safe but above average. The theme is neutral enough in Americana. In fact, a positive for a lot of us rock and rollers out there, if I may. And then the audio, well, it's Metallica. So what were some of the biggest negatives that commanded a remaster? Well, the audio, bringing it up to stereo, having the counters to the things, the part of the game, shooting the snake, shooting the cross, shooting Sparky, having that easily legible to where anyone walking up can see, oh, I've hit the snake 5 times, I need to hit it 5 times more. Okay, great. As opposed to hitting the info button, holding the flipper to see the info button. Because if you think a layperson who is used to playing Mario Brothers 3 will intuitively know, okay, in this pinball machine, to see what I'm doing, I have to hold one of the flippers for 5 seconds and then wait, of course, and then I'll navigate through the menu to look for what I need. Of course, that's intuitive as shit. I know exactly what to do. No. So that was a low-hanging fruit that Stern did to fix, which was fantastic. What else did they improve? Like they clearly knew that, well, the layout is good, so let's not change too much. I think they might have changed maybe a millimeter here or there, like some of the layout. I couldn't tell much from playing it. What else could we improve? Well, let's make that fan that speeds up and makes loud noises in spikes not happen. To be fair, it was initially a SAM game, Stern SAM DMD game, aka before Spike, which did not have the loud fans. So that wasn't necessarily something they had to improve. Let's make the flippers more powerful. That is something that I noticed when playing Metallica OG, Pro, or Premium, that the flippers, although often back then was touted as a fast, crazy game, the flippers felt a little weak compared to what you'd think. So they improved that. I would say too much. Maybe not. Well, you can undo it, but go listen to the last episode where I give more of my feedback on the game and why I think it's great for people that already liked Metallica a whole bunch. For those who were kind of on the fence, did it sway me beyond that? No. And I actually I did not enjoy the feel of it as much. That was after some more retrospective of the game. It was not the theme. It was not the layout. It was not the art. It could be the layout. It could be the combination of the layout plus the flippers or something. But something just, it didn't feel right. Like, kind of like Turtles, TMNT Turtles. If anyone's familiar with the Stern TMNT Turtles game, the left upper flipper, the warp ramp, as we've decided we're calling it, the warp ramp shot on TMNT, it never felt right. Something just, it doesn't feel right. Or when you're hitting the 3-bank on Star Wars, like you hit it and that sound effect. It doesn't feel good. Does it feel right? I don't know. No. The opposite side of that is the left ramp in Star Wars, Steve Ritchie. Wow, does that feel right? It's an easy shot, mind you. But when you hit it, oh, that feels nice. It's like a nice, cozy friend. Very similar to the same ramp in Steve Ritchie's Star Trek. When you hit it, oh, it feels all right. And the warp ramp in Star Trek, when you hit it, she feels good. Most shots in most Keith Elwin's games, sans every shot in Godzilla, feel great. I don't think any shots in Godzilla feel good, except for maybe the what is it? The jackpot? No, the super jackpot thingy up by the. I don't play it enough to know the. Where it holds it and it's 3, 2, 1. You hit it and you all know because you all own Godzilla and love it. But that shot feels okay. Otherwise, the droopy flippers and they don't feel great. Jurassic Park, every shot, most feels incredible. Again, King Kong by Keith Elwin coming out. Big looking forward to that. But Metallica just didn't, none of the shots felt right to me. I don't know what it was, the remaster. It could have been the combination with the flipper power. But whatever that change was, I don't know. It could be that it was hyped up so much that I had higher expectations. Nothing felt right. And it's not a knock against the game. If I was to play the original Metallica Pro right next to it, could have been the same thing. But this is not to rag on why I didn't like Metallica Pro. Basically, the long story short is they remade Metallica. It has sold well. Regardless of my opinion, which is not super negative, for me, not pass. They're going to remake more games. So let's talk about the games they will remake and what they, again, should or should not do. The elephant in the room, and the one I think that most of planet Earth would like remade, is Lord of the Rings. And personally, I would also like that game remade. But there's a few things I would not like to be remade about Lord of the Rings or changed. This is the opinion of mine, and I think from talking to enough people, some of these opinions y'all will share. The others, it's time for discussion. What you think? No, Jason's totally wrong, and probably. Looking at the game, and I'm saying looking at the game specifically, comes to mind, do I like looking at the game? You know, the art, the visuals. I'm of multiple minds, to not pre-frame this. I fell in love with Lord of the Rings because of the movies, and then subsequently the books. So do I mind seeing the poster of the movie that I fell in love with be the meat in the meat and potatoes metaphor of a pinball machine? Frodo, Aragorn, Gandalf, the whole crew, the fellowship, if you will, in smack dab in the middle of the playfield. I do not mind that one bit. In fact, I like it quite a bit. If they were to, let's say, take artistic freedom and change that, okay, question mark. Here's what you shouldn't do. Don't do what Wizards of the Coast did with the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set. Some of it was great, but some of it, don't take that many liberties and change all of it. Like Aragorn, what are you doing? Why? I mean, Tolkien, to be fair, did not have photographs of these made-up fictional characters, nor draw in exactly what they should look like. But he did articulate quite well many times what they looked like. So, yeah, I think of the more fantastical elements, Wizards of the Coast did great with the Magic the Gathering card game, the Lord of the Rings set. But they went quite far. Now, what would have happened if they just really mimicked the movie imagery, similar to the Lord of the Rings card games, albeit those were actually movie stills? Would that have done better for them? Possibly. Unlike JJP's Harry Potter, they will have to use the movies, but most likely they will. Well, who knows? Actually, most likely that license is a rat hole. They could get away with, I think, book art, the covers and the artistic makings of that artist. Well, let me Google, because I want to give. I believe it's her credit. Harry Potter book cover artist. Mary Grand Prix. What? Mary Grand Prix? Not like the race, but Grand Prix. Okay, Mary Grand Prix. The visuals of the Harry Potter book covers, they're fantastic. They're great. They'll probably do the movies. But I think you can get away with either, to be honest. They could release two. Oh, shit. If they just did 2 streams of Harry Potter, one movie based, let's say same layout, same code, same everything. One that was just movie, and the other was Let's do the Star Wars thing. Called it comic art Harry Potter. I think you'd have a healthy mix. I digress. In Lord of the Rings, I would say, to me, you could change the art. Let's say you don't. Okay, that's fine. Obviously, use higher res images and get your silk screening to be neutral and don't have dark greens in a lot of them. Again, if you want to hear more about the neuroticisms of the colors of the Lord of the Rings playfield, which there are many afoot, and rarely consistency do you see, go listen to the previous 100 episodes of the show, and it's bound to come up most episodes. So have it neutral colors. I would say, if this was my game that I was redesigning, keep the art. The art's fine. I like the color scheme. I like the earthy tones, the yellows, the reds, the greens. Fine. So again, looking at the game, the art on the playfield is one thing. I think it does not detract at all. In fact, I like looking at it. It's fine. It's pleasant. Could they do better? Probably, especially if someone pitched it. Here's my idea. I'd be like, shit. Yeah, you nailed it. But without trying to just redo the whole art. The other look quote of this game, I think most of it is a million points. It's a 10 out of 10. The gold ramps, do not change that. Holy goddamn, that looks so good. The sword ramp on the right, unnecessary. Change it, sure. Don't change it, that's fine. I have never thought that, it doesn't look like anyone's sword. It kind of looks like Sting-ish. But people often put, Sting or Aragorn's like a sword overlay above it? It looks tacky AF. It's dumb. It's good for you. Good for you, but it looks dumb. We're going to talk shit behind your back. It looks dumb. Look at this guy with a fucking got a sword. Idiot. Well, it looks good. Yeah, it's fine. Looks dumb. So don't change the gold ramps. Don't change the gold wire forms. The sword on the right, I don't know. Leave it. Okay. Change it. Sure. Make it all gold. Maybe change a point of contention. The right ramps clunk when you hit it because it doesn't have a backing to the ramp. The backing to the ramp is the wood side of the pinball cabinet, which is odd. What's more odd is that all the Lord of the Rings I've had or seen out there, the most time you see wear on the game is either from the extra ball Gimli shot, the the Shire area, or the flipper buttons on the outside of the machine where it wears. You don't see wear by that spot where the ball hits the cabinet. A metal ball hitting a wooden cabinet repeatedly since 2003, the year of our Lord. That spot doesn't have wear. What? It's like we're living in the Matrix or the show From on Amazon Prime. Well, you need like an MGM Plus subscription. But the show From recently got into pretty great so far. We're just on season 3, so get into that if you like a good horror / mystery / WTF is going on. Are we in a simulation? Granted, it could end terribly, but so far it's pretty great. But that's what it feels like when seeing this shot. You're hitting. Why is there no wear there all the time? How is that spot magically not getting wear? I don't know. I mean, I've had ones with art blades, with mirror blades, with just the wood. Never seen even a blemish in the spot that gets repeatedly bashed by a metal fucking ball hit with velocity from a flip. I don't know, but you should fix that part because it's weird. I kind of like the thunk, TBH, short for to be honest. But yeah, I can't get over this. There's no wear to it. Anyway, make the right ramp not hit the side cabinet for your rail. What are you doing? That's dumb, but apparently it works. Staying in the looks, should you have figures everywhere? Sure. I don't think it hurts. I'm never like, oh, it doesn't have all the figures. Oh my god. Oh, it's got to have the figures. The ones that I see the most are probably the Nazgul. And I'm not talking about the Balrog, so stop it. The Aragorn on the horse, the hobbits and Schmeegs on the pop bumpers or the slings. I see the Nazgul, I see Aragorn on the horse, see Gandalf, and I see Sauron and one of the orcs in the back by Barad-dûr. Or, leave them, but they don't have to be there. You could do new... it's fine. They probably should be, though. You should at least have either the toys or new molds. That's probably expensive to make new molds, and probably equally expensive to get 10,000 of those old toys. Might have to be creative. Looks-wise, the center ramp, great. Again, gold, great. I like how the modes are highlighted in the back ring, the ring magnet shot. It just looks, it's seamless. It's like the way that the game tells you to play is seamless with the mechs in the game and how they're laid out, which is also seamless how they're laid out with the shots. Which, it's like the perfect storm of a game, and then the theme is incredible. Now, I'm not trying to just go into why I like the game so much, but these, again, looks. The ring in the back with the lights to show you what mode it is, great. Barad-dûr, or sorry, excuse me, don't write in and correct me. Mount Doom in the background with the ring shot, kind of with a little wiggles back out. That ramp, it's awesome coming out of there. Everything's laid out well. The gift of the elves, even how that's just like it's a little ring shot, and it's special, and it keeps track of it, and the way that the Fellowship lights are there, the two towers of Fellowship and the Return of the King multi-balls, they're ever present. The rings that you collect, everything is just visually pretty optimized. Visually optimized. Fine, good. So, and why I kind of pause there is this is where it gets iffy. Shots / layout, all this stuff, the stuff on the playfield. I would not change a lot, and I wouldn't remaster much. I would remaster, so the Vuk shot, the Gimli shot, the little scoop that pops the ball up, it doesn't really have a back to it, so when you shoot in there and you're trying to hit it, you're either going to go fly past it into the pop bumpers and fly around and all that, or it's going to land in the scoop. That could maybe use just refinement. I don't know the answer to it, but that would be like, well, let's make that a little better. I get that sometimes you need to go back in the pop bumpers for this game, unlike most, because you need is it 15 to collect Boromir. That's getting super nerdy about this game, but there's other ways to get to the pop bumpers. The left orbit, the Gandalf shot, the right orbit. So I think using that scoop shot as a direct shot to the pop bumpers, like you could just maybe close that off, because even when it dribbles down, it doesn't qualify. Yeah, for those who know, they know. For those who don't, I won't keep going into that scoop. I think everything else, aside from the shots on the right ramp that I talked about, like stop clunking the side, is fine. But the souls area, the green, looking at you, it's just dumb to get up there. It works well in the game, like how it tells the story and you're collecting souls, but like it's just a Plinko machine up there, and you're just waiting, and it's like, 500, 100, shut up. Just shut up. Maybe toss a flipper up there. Toss a shadow pop-up bumper thingy, or a moving bouncer. I don't know what you call that, because have some interaction up in the Path of the Dead. Even if it's when it's rolling over those rollovers and, some of the green lights are blinking to get more score, maybe just use the flippers that you can move that around. So if the upper left one's blinking and you see it going down to the right, be able to move it to the right. At least something to do to pay attention. Otherwise, it's okay. You're just waiting for it to. Is it going to drop on the Arwen plastic and break that shit? Is it going to drop on the other thing? How is it going to stupidly fall off this thing or fall into the Shire shot and give me like 10 more soul? Dumb. Yeah. Other than that, I wouldn't change much of the shots. Again, just like Metallica. Like, people love the game for a reason. Don't change much, but improve the things that most would say that Path of the Dead, stupid. Integrate maybe the mods that everyone does in the Path of the Dead. Have some like green glowy guys. That's fine. the right shot, the clunk, what are you doing? And everything, maybe the scoop. Fix that scoop thing a little bit. Otherwise, she's fine. The biggest improvement you can make to old Lord of the Rings is the flipper power. The fading flipper power. This might be a combination actually with the center ring if you do have to, the center ramp shot. If you do have to change something in Lord of the Rings, it's move that center ramp shot, whatever it may be, closer to the flippers, extend it. It's consistent, you can hit it, but with the flippers fading so fast, sometimes you can hit it with both flippers. 10 minutes into a game, you can only hit it with the right flipper. On a lot of games, the right flipper is more, it's more consistent, but does it feel good? It feels better from the left flipper, but the right flipper, when you get the momentum, you have a better. Fix the flipper power, pick it, maybe don't go as far as Metallica, or do, and then make everything else accommodate that, but fix that center ramp shot. Improve it, I should say. Don't fix it, improve it. Keep the flippers strong throughout the whole game. Audio. I love the pin sound on Lord of the Rings. If you can just take the wool mix or they would probably do that, which is really just like use the score from the movie in the right spots. If you doubtful they would get the callback, the call outs from everyone to re-record. Elijah Wood, I think it's him, right? Who did a lot of these. Especially when he's counting 10, 9, 5, 4. Oh, he's really giving it. Or John Rhys Davies for Gimli, 500. Doubtful they would ever get those. So either use AI to up res those shits. Might be your best bet. I don't know what your master files, if you have waves sitting somewhere, or the stems from Pro Tools. Hopefully, maybe. But all the like music and audio, use the movie stuff if you can. Howard Shore. Use his score when you can. But again, licensing. Let's say that you don't have any more money for any of that. Okay, just use the original stuff. But let's say you do have money. Well, make it closer to the pin sound. Speaking of non-gameplay things, not that the audio is not gameplay, it's a supporting role. The visuals on the DMD. Now, like Metallica Remastered, it would be great to put a lot of the status metrics up on there. I mean, the playfield already does a pretty good job of showing you what's qualified, what you need to do, mind you, but you could put, how many shots to, how many shots? It's usually just one, except for when you do multiple fellowship multi-balls. How many shots you need to qualify each of the fellowship, maybe how many rings you need. But again, it does all this so well on the playfield. There's not much you usually need to know. Maybe how many shots you need to Barad-dûr to get extra balls, etc. Or what's the next award. So, I mean, of course, put progress, numerical progress on the LCD. Should you use movie clips? I mean, I know last episode, like, well, hey, personally, like, make new animations for everything. Yeah, that'd be incredible. I would love to see that. Like, actual hand-computer, hand-drawn 2D, not 3D, some, like, Dreamcast level or PS2 level 3D model. No, not that type of trash. But, yeah. If you remade 2D animation, but hey, just use the movies. Everyone would be happy. I'd be fine. I would like to. Here's what you do. You do that, but then make it optional. Like, we do still have all the original animations. If you want to see just a super letterbox version of the DMD within the LCD, let us do it. Just toggle a switch like when you're starting the game. What do you want? You want standard mode or you want retro mode? I want retro mode. I want to see the old stuff. I don't care if it's orange or red. One color, fine. I'm sure they could just do like the color DMD logic behind it, make it color if you want. And then the cabinet, I think that's fine. Like low hanging fruit, make the cabinet not silk screen. Just put your vinyl decals on in the back box. Don't change the back box. I think the back box is great. Especially with the LE. Don't change the LE. We want to keep that dong hanging. Keep that dong hanging low, guys. It's Lord of the Rings. We need some gold dong on there. So, Lord of the Rings. What's the next one? Probably Tron. Tron. Man, that's a game I don't have nearly as much obsession's a closer word than experience with it. But it does have some areas that I think would be easily improved. It's my podcast, so I'll say the first thing to do, flip all of the geometry. Like, flip it horizontally. I don't want the left flipper for the upper flipper. I want that to be the right flipper. Flip everything. Just flip it. So it's like, I guess, X-Men laid out. Because that would be, I guess, yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. Another John Borg design that's similar. Flip it, because I don't want to use the left flipper for the warp ramp shot because of my tendonitis, and I'm not left-hand dominant, and I don't like left-hand upper flipper shots. I don't know if anyone, some people do, but you're wrong. Change that right away. Looks. Definitely the play field, I think, can just be, well, if it's does it have to be Tron Legacy? You know, like, just have it be Tron and incorporate a little bit of old school Tron, a little bit of Legacy, and a little bit of the upcoming Tron movie. What is it called? The upcoming, something with an A, with Jared Ares, right? Tron Ares. Have it a little bit of both, or all three, or just leave it. I'm fine with leave it and don't screen print it. Just make it look great. I don't know, like, Tron is another one where a lot of people just love the way it looked over the way it played. And I might be the same person. So it looks, playfield, horse apiece. But the looks that you have to do is the fiber optics lights on the ramps. There is no way in hell that Stern would remake this game and not put those lights on the ramps. Probably the number one mod on any game, just as much as, like, more so, I should say, than the mod. Like, yes, the most. I was going to say, like, the Path of the Dead and Lord of the Rings we were just talking about. But, I mean, if you don't put the lighted ramps on Tron, you're missing one of the biggest, the coolest visual things of it. And I mean, the movie, it fits. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. It's on the LE by default, and most people put it on the Pro, the mod. It's a must. Come on. Or sell it with, when you sell the expression lights with Tron, which Tron, okay, if we're staying looks, make that have expression lights. It's like Daft Punk in a game plus Tron, which has lights everywhere, but maybe make the lights more like less separation between the LEDs, and try to have it be like one long, like those RGB fiber that you can combine. Just get a little, experiment, get a little creative with it. But even if you just do expression lights, I think this game's like a must expression lights. So flip the geometry completely. Keep the layout the same, except for, what is that? Is it the Q shot? What is that shot up by the spinning disc with the left flip? Oh, such a bitch. No one wants to hit that shot. Doesn't feel great. Feels better than Turtles, but not by a lot. The ramp shot, yeah, but so flip it, get the fiber optics, get expression lights or an evolution of. Maybe a built-in scoop protector, because that scoop gets shredded to F. Should the scoop have the little arcade on it? That is another mod that everyone puts on it. It's fine. It's more of like, oh, it's cool, we did this thing, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. But I do appreciate that a lot of people love the original Tron arcade game, so for them it's very nostalgic. I wasn't a huge... That was a little before my time, where my earliest, like, oh, I play a lot of arcade games, was like Donkey Kong, and then, RoboCop and Pit Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and the list goes on. Turn down the volume on the motor on the spinning disc. That is not visuals, but we're hopping right to that. That thing is so loud. When the recognizer, when you below that, when you bash that guy, the main multi-ball in this, you hit it, and then it lowers and the disc spins. I thought my game was busted the first time I had it. I'm like, this is of course broken, so that's nice. This $10,000 broken thing, $10,000 broken thing. And turn that down. Obviously, I know you're not. It doesn't have a volume on it that says, "Oh, turn down the motor sound." Get a bit of mech that doesn't sound like it's dying every time. When I played on location too, it's shit because you want to hear the music and this. No, fix that. Beyond that, what again, Tron, just improve what's already there because people like the way it looks. They like the way it shoots. Flip the geometry, though, mind you, because that's what you should do. The rules are great, which don't add rules. To step back to Lord of the Rings, don't add rules to that game. It's got plenty. Metallica, I know they had to like change and add a little stuff and make it a little more just instead of a collectathon. I mean, of course, Lord of the Rings, maybe if you want to tweak a couple things, but it's tweak some stuff, but don't add more. Tron is like a super Iron Man, which for me is the best way I can describe it. A simple rules, a little more depth than that, where it's just, hey, accomplish this thing. There's this mode. There's hit these things. That's a mode. Collect these. That's a thing. That's done. And then you get the wizard. Like pretty much A, B, C, D, done. Scooped. Get your awards. Keep going. I'm sure there's ways I can find to iterate on it and improve it, but off the top of my head, I don't know the rules as nuanced as other games to know like, oh, there's a bug when you do this, or like when you loop around from one wizard mode to the next, something you have to qualify differently. I can't speak to that. Otherwise, for me, I think the simplicity of the rules is one of its strengths. Sound, again, don't change it. Just get better music. Don't get better music. Use the same music, get better versions of it, keep it stereo, all that stuff. Callouts are actually pretty great in this game. Big fan of the callouts. This is also a game that could benefit from flipper power, where I used to hear before I originally played Tron, oh, it's a fast flowing, it's off, oh my god, it's one of the fastest games out there, the Rams. And played it, it's not, no. I mean, compared to now, it's somewhat slow. Like the flippers don't feel powerful enough to hit the shots. Like you feel like you have to hit them perfectly for them to really happen or go all the way around, like qualify, if you will, or finish the shot. They don't have enough oomph because the ramps are a little flowy. They kind of have some elevation to them. So improve the flipper power, I guess, or if you have to move the ramps around a little bit, millimeters, it definitely doesn't feel as hard and fast as people make it out to be. I think it's actually somewhat slow. Yeah. So change that, please. Thank you. Backglass is a tricky one because it has a few, and some of them are lenticular, aka 3D. When you like look one way, it looks kind of cloudy from a distance, kind of stupid. Just don't do that. Just make a nice looking Tron backglass. Maybe just the Tron, like similar to how you do the Jaws, where it's just like the logo in a way, the guy standing up with the light shooting. Just do that and have it say Tron. Make it simple. And do the thing where you sell other translates. That's fine. But yeah, Tron's probably the second most asked for. It's close between that and then the old Ghostbusters, which is, it's got a heavy rumor around it, doesn't it? Ghostbusters is a well, going back to Tron, sorry, Ghostbusters. The difference between the Tron Pro and LE, which we didn't have to talk about with Lord of the Rings. I mean, you could make the LE in Lord of the Rings, but all that is gold armor and a gold dick on the translate, which is, yeah. I mean, the gold dick is worth the money. On Tron, there's drop targets instead of stand-up targets. There's some recognizer differences, I think, slightly. And then the playfield has, well, like they have the built-in lights, which you're going to have to do anyways. I don't think you should make two versions of Tron, especially if you're going to take away the ramp lights on one. Don't do that. Don't do that again. Or at least sell the ramp lights. But yeah, Tron, I don't know. You might want to combine the two. Well, you know what you're doing, Stern. Yeah, don't listen to me, but that's my opinion. Ghostbusters. There's more differences between the Pro and the Premium, but looks. That's the thing with this. I'm pretty sure. Don't change anything with how Ghostbusters looks. The art is so good. Is it the best art in any pinball when it comes to just like original art for a pinball machine? No. If it is, that's fine that you have an example. I don't have an example that pops off my head, if that makes sense. When I first saw Ghostbusters, this is when I'd played pinball in high school and, smoking cigarettes at the bowling alley. It's when I first, Medieval Madness, Attack from Mars, that era, Twilight Zone, Addams Family, and got into it. And then, so that was 15 to 18 years old. And then, as one does, you do other things, party, college, all that kind of stuff. The next time I kind of got reminded of pinball and how it's a real thing, and like, oh yeah, pinball, was Ghostbusters. I was on a work trip in Minneapolis. We were at a bar, hey, let's go on a work trip, going to a bar that has pinball and video games. Uptown, actually, in Minneapolis. And I saw Ghostbusters. I had just seen, like, whoa, what is this? Like, it looked fucking incredible. I just saw, the Ecto-1, and then you walk up and there's just all these purples and pinks and Slimer, and like, holy shit, this art is badass as fuck. This is pinball now? Like, I didn't know. I went from like a drab Attack from Mars, drab's not the right word, but like kind of a muted Addams Family, Twilight Zone to like, kapow, fucking Ghostbusters, bitch, colors, pastel, Slimer, what's up, fuck. Mind you, I played the game and I was like, this feels busted. It just drained down the middle. I didn't, had been so many years. I went from playing Addams Family, which is easy as shit, to Ghostbusters, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm bad at pinball. That aside, the art, my God, from the playfield to the accents on the plastics to the apron art. If you hear that, my dog is barking, and she does. Keep going. Do it, Mabel. By the magic of audio, I paused it until she was done. From the plastics to the apron to the, hey, where's my energy? Ghostbusters, so good. All over the place to the artistic freedom that you see this kind of like curvy, almost liquidy, take to everything that really just, it's taking the proton pack / slime aesthetic and it just fucking nails it. That's the moral of the story. Even the text on the inserts, the ghost symbol everywhere, the way that the playfield is laid out with like New York City as a backdrop, and even with the art blades with the pink and the way that it looks so good. And that's not even to take into consideration the goddamn translite, which is art on its own. Not that the playfield isn't, but the translate's incredible on all of them. It looks so good. The only reason to change it is if for some reason there's like a licensing thing, or like your hand is forced. Otherwise, don't. And if you do, okay, you would have to do movies, because you do another 2D version of this, even like real Ghostbusters style. Like, you're competing with some of the best art in pinball of all time. So good luck. Let's just say this game even gets made, but Slimer looks changed nothing. Thanks. Layout and all that. This is the one where I have most experience with the Pro. When I play the Premium, all the shots feel pretty close, except for the ramp on the Premium is a little Premium / LE. The ramp on those is a little like less consistent. Is that the right word? I don't know if it is. It's easier to hit on the Pro. Like, it's a little less steep, and it feels so good to hit the main ramp, the left ramp that you hit the most shot in the game all the goddamn time. Feels really good in the Pro. It's cool in the Premium LE that it goes under a subway, but because of that, it has slightly different physics. It's tough because like Metallica Remastered LE and Premium, I know I was talking about this with the last two, Tron and Lord of the Rings. Like, you're going to combine them to one game. So here, what would you combine? You'd make an LE trim, but it'd be more the lights and all that. I think with Ghostbusters, you could do expression lights as well, because of the proton packs and the amount of like lights that ghosts represent, the glowing of a ghost and the slime and the pink, and there's so many colors to work with. Ghosts glow in real life, for fuck's sake, and by our real life, you know what I mean, like in our zeitgeist of human stories and all that. We assume ghosts glow. So expression lights could be cool. You could do a lot of glowing effects with it. But as far as combining the two layouts, I don't know. Like, oh God, there's a few things here. There's the subway main ramp. It's all, that whole like kit and caboodle is kind of combined. That ramp plus the subway, and then the way that the scoop works on the right, the containment center. That's a tough one. I guess I'd kind of be cool either way. And the right ramp is also part, that whole shit. It's one chunk that kind of changes everything, because that plastic is molded into the right ramp on the Pro, where on the Premium, that whole thing is a separate beast. You change one of those things, you almost have to change all of them. And I like that the Pro doesn't have the cross shot. The right ramp doesn't have a cross wire form over the playfield, because again, the art is so good. That'd be a tough one. Yeah, if you have a better idea, please write in at pinballpartypodcast@gmail.com. God, I would just keep the... Okay, here's what I do. I would use the Pro as your model. And then upgrade the Pro to get more money, which would be maybe make... Oh, God. No, just re-release the original game at Spike 1. That's fine. Don't even remake it. What are you doing? Just re-release it. Charge MSRP for new Spike 2 games. Maybe put a screen on it. Don't change anything. Release a Pro and a Premium and see which one sells better. Let the market decide. I don't know, because do people want the Premium LE magnetic slings? I don't think so. So if you do that, are you auto including everything from a Premium? Like, okay, the subway and the right and the ramp situation is kind of a give or take. Take it or leave it, I should say. But I still kind of lean Pro more than the Premium. But let's say they're doing what they do in Metallica, which Metallica, basically, they took the Premium and they remade the Premium. So if they remade the Premium Ghostbusters, people don't want those magnetic slings. And the cross shot, no thank you. And the subway, not really no thank you. The Ecto goggles... Okay, that's the only thing I would say. Like, do the Pro and add the Ecto goggles and the library 3D molded plastic, and I'd be fine. And don't charge Pro price for it. Maybe $500 extra bucks for your time. Appreciate it. That's not to say that the back box would be changed. In Ghostbusters, the back box, what would change? Don't change the translate. It's fantastic. LCD. This, you're not going to create please do create all new animations for Ghostbusters and blow us away. Take my money, like use the same art, have Zombie Yeti make animation for this. Okay, sign me up. Not going to happen. Use the movies, clips. That'd be fine. But then you get into that dichotomy like Star Wars Comic Pro or Premium, whatever, Star Wars Comic, where like you're looking at a Star Wars comic playfield, but then on the LCD is the movie, so like, okay, that feels disconnected and weird. And then the audio announcer is the guy from the Clone Wars cartoon. What the fuck? What are you doing? There's no cohesion here. It's like you had if you're going to go full stupid, go, like, take Star Wars, for example, have the announcer be Patrick Stewart and have the video clips be the Starship Enterprise shooting the Millennium Falcon or some shit. Just be like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. So in Ghostbusters, have the videos all be Transformers, I guess, and have G.I. Joe call-outs. I don't know. I think Ghostbusters, out of all of these, it already feels great. It looks great. It sounds great. Spike 1 sounds great. The DMD on Spike 1 sounds great. Don't change anything. There's my suggestion. Just re-release Ghostbusters Pro and Premium /LE for the people who want to lose a bunch of money. Okay. From there, it really drops pretty hard, I think, as far as remakes that people want. like remasters, excuse me, because these would have to be games that have been out long enough for people to say, like, I want it because I really like it, and there's a few things you can improve, but also like they just don't. You could update it because it's so good. Like looking at the top, let's just say the top 15. I'm not gonna read every single one and talk about it, but Godzilla, it doesn't need to be. What? It just came out. Medieval Madness, they're just remaking it because it's classic. Jurassic Park, nope, don't need to do anything. Attack from Mars, they remake literally the same game. Monster Bash, same thing. Iron Maiden, nope. Been like anything Spike 2, you're not going to remake. And Ghostbusters is the newest, like it's a Spike 1. Well, okay. So Elvira's House of Horrors, nope. Twilight Zone, well, they're going to just redo literally the same game. Then we come to our first remaster possibility on this list, number 10, Lord of the Rings. Yes. Remake that, remaster it. There's things you could do. People love it. 11, Elton John, then Jaws, then Big Lebowski, then Metallica, our next one. So in the top 15, there's only like 2 contenders that would be remastered. They use the remaster game as a nice pun for music for Metallica. Like, what would Lord of the Rings be called? I don't know. Lord of the Rings Extended Edition? Huh? Fuck. Nailed it. Did it for you. Let's keep going because that's a little fun going down this list to see like what would the remasters be. Not that this list correlates what people would want, but because Tron is definitely not in the top 15. Pirates of the Caribbean by JJP actually just rerun it. So there you go. Cactus Canyon, well, they already did remake it. James Bond, 007, Get Out of Here. Rush, Spike 2. Indiana Jones, A Pinball Adventure. Okay, could play that game. Literally. Could you remake it? A wide body, get fucked. I don't know. I mean, maybe CGC could do it. That's a fun game. I have nothing bad to say about Indiana Jones aside from the wide body, but it's a game that actually doesn't really feel like a wide body. Huh. But it's Indiana Jones. That license. Not that the last movie was that great. The last couple. This next one, actually, I didn't think about this before. I would personally take a remaster. What would you call it? Well, you can come up with the name. Star Trek. Steve Ritchie's. So they did a Final Voyage version. Like this game, it just feels so good to shoot. What could you do to Star Trek? Don't change the shots or layout at all. It's flow for days. It's one of the best feeling shooting games ever. This is a quickie. This is the last one. We'll call it. Art on the playfield, dog shit. Change that. It's bad. It's fucking terrible. Make it more like... it's not bad as in like, hey, you did a bad job, because it's functional. So if you want to keep it functional, maybe just update it, make it more look like the Enterprise, like you're inside the ship a little more, or go the Zombie Yeti Ghostbusters route and don't do cartoon version of Star Trek characters. Maybe the answer is keep it functional, but just make it not look dumb because it looks kind of dumb. Don't change the shots. I love that the action button just shoots the ship. It's fucking great. I love when the action button is used in just a nice, simple way. Spot a shot. It's a glorified spot a shot, which I think spot a shot is the best use of the button yet. Spot a shot and the captive ball in Jaws. I forget what it's called. Sorry, when it's green and the little flipper lock. Thank you, me flipper lock. The rules in that game would need a little tweak. There's like maybe shorten the number of shots you have to do for each thing, make it a little more clear what the medals are about. The 3 wide, 3 deep, which sounds severely sexual, could be improved, could be tweaked. I think you could tweak the rules. I don't have the answers for it because, again, this is a quickie. I didn't prepare for it. But where that game could really shine, that game, if you had visual elements in the LCD. I know I've talked about like custom animations are great, and they're pretty cool in Star Trek. They're kind of funny. They're kind of like campy. But Star Trek is a visually appealing. It's like a lot of it is the visuals, especially the J.J. Abrams ones. I mean, you can say what you will about him in Star Wars, which, God, the sequel trilogies, what are we doing? But the way that the Star Trek sequel, Star Trek J.J. Abrams verse, it looks very good. It lends itself well to Star Trek. Star Trek looks well, clean, and bright, and vibrant, and energetic. So put movie clips on there. That'd be great. And I think you should remaster Star Trek as just like, it's still called Star Trek, which is the perfect name. If you have the license freedom to just use Star Trek, Do you want to use missions from the OG series or the Next Generation or these movies, or just call it Star Trek and make up your own? Star Trek, you could make up your own, like D&D. But where this would just smash shit is, so you remake it and you'd only do one version. Of course, you do the LE because, of course, all it does is improve on the Pro, mostly, basically. So you know what to do there, but expression lights, that son of a bitch. Put them in there. It would look so good. There's lights everywhere in the Enterprise and in Star Trek, and phasers and proton torpedoes and everywhere. Just double the expression lights. Put 2 of them inside, put one down by your cock, put one on the outside, put it on your eyes, on the floor. Make the whole cabinet one LED to just blind you. You get the point. I think Star Trek could just take, like, it would, yeah, I think it would fit. And people, that game is one of those pinball games that, regardless of theme, it's a great game. It's in that Metallica realm where not a lot of people are like, oh, Star Trek sucks. The worst thing they say about it, similar to Metallica, is like the rules. But Star Trek, even the rules are like, they're fine. Sure, they're fine. It's accessible. It feels so good. I said that at the end of the question. Like, every shot in that game feels great. The right ramp is probably the worst, but even that's fine. It's a great shooter. It's a great game. People like Star Trek. It's timeless. And it's timeless just like this show. So thank you to everyone for taking the time to join me and talk about remasters. If you have any ideas or suggestions on remasters, please email in to the pinballpartypodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, smooches, and you stay safe out there. See you later.